everybody, and welcome to the 34th show of the Positively Disney Phone-In podcast. I'm Kylee Bouchard, your host and the author of the best-selling series of Positively Disney, heartwarming stories about Disney's impact on people's lives. The guest that I'm going to be sharing her life, her interview with you tonight has truly shared the most amazing Disney magic with those in need from a simple Disney experience. And I'm so privileged that I will be introducing her a little bit later on. I want to welcome all my Facebook folks and my Twitch people, and hope you had an absolutely wonderful week last week. You know, sometimes there are things in life that happen very unexpectedly. And I must say that would pretty much describe my week last week. I had the great fortune and the great privilege to spend time in California with none other than Jack Canfield, the co-author of the Chicken Soup for the Soul series. Myself and about a dozen others gathered in his home. And I will tell you, when we went up his very long driveway, we went in as strangers and we left as friends, lifelong friends. And you know, that is really what it's about. Gaining our friendships, believing in others' work, and sharing magical moments with everybody. This young woman I had the great fortune to meet. Her name is Kylee McCrane. She was actually a fourth-year university student a couple of years ago. Her story is actually in my book, the second book, and it's titled Power Princess. And I will tell you, if there was ever any princess that I have met that has spread a powerful message and done so much good in such a short amount of time, I really call her the power of one, because really, folks, it does just take one person to actually make an amazing, tremendous difference. And we're going to get Kylee on the phone with us and share with you her foundation called A Moment of Magic, and how they have helped thousands of children realize their wishes, their last wishes often, of a princess visit. So we're just going to get Kylee on the line. See, the phone is ringing. And
hello.
Hi, Kylee. It's Kimberly Bouchard. Can you hear me all right?
I can. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Kylee. I'm so excited about everything you're doing and have watched you from day one. And I think you are so amazing. It's really, you are the epitome of the Disney spirit, as well as showing people what one person can do with a Disney experience. And Kylee, I haven't told anything to anybody yet, but I did tell them that you have a foundation called A Moment of Magic. So I would like to begin at the beginning. When did you actually, let's go back. Can you please tell everybody about what your foundation does?
Yes, absolutely. And first, I just want to say thank you so much for your kind words. That really means so much to me. I thank you so much. And thanks for giving me the opportunity to speak with you. I'm so excited.
Oh, my pleasure.
But A Moment of Magic is a nonprofit organization that provides creative programming to children that are medically vulnerable. So we usually provide princess and superhero visits primarily in pediatric hospitals, but we also work exclusively with families of children with pediatric cancer to try kind of like break up the day a little bit for them and provide some comfort and magic with someone that they already recognize and identify with.
Okay. And now this just it is so amazing that you've actually got princesses and superheroes. And I didn't realize that superheroes were in the mix now. So can you tell everybody, how did you get this idea, to do this? This is so amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. So my parents have always really promoted volunteerism, and they are both teachers. So I've always really been attracted to working with kids and working with youth. So I went to college in the Bronx. I went to a small school called the College of Mount St. Vincent, and I was on a community service-based scholarship. So I was looking for something to do that I can commit my time to that I felt really passionate about. And I really wanted to work in a pediatric hospital. It was just kind of like a magnetism that I felt pulling me in that direction. But unfortunately, there aren't a lot of opportunities to volunteer in a pediatric hospital, unfortunately. So I went home to Pennsylvania for Christmas break, and we were watching Christmas movies with my whole family, and we ended up watching Frozen. And it was kind of funny that my mom pointed out that I kind of resembled Elsa a little bit. And there was, the blonde hair and the blue eyes and the pale skin. And when she said that, it kind of just clicked. And it just made sense all of a sudden, like all of these different things that I wanted could come true if I was to dress up and actually go into the hospitals and get to interact with these kids. So I texted my college roommate and asked her what she thought about it and if she'd want to be involved. And she jumped right in. And from there, it's just been the best crazy ride you could ever dream of.
Well, and now your college roommate, you had told me a while ago, looked like a particular princess too. Can you share with folks who she resembled?
Yeah. So it was kind of funny that she also resembled Anna from Frozen. She had, the darker reddish blonde hair and the blue eyes and all of the freckles. And it just seemed kind of like, I don't know, like for lack of a better word, like the shoe fit.
Okay.
It really did fit, and it was just perfect.
So now you have this idea, it's winter break, and was that your final year of university? I can't remember now.
No, it wasn't. It was our sophomore year.
Sophomore year. Gosh. Okay. So the wheels are turning. Now, how did you start developing this idea to be able to go into the hospitals? What did you start with? How did you get in there?
Yeah, definitely. Well, it seems like such a simple idea to us that we would dress up as characters and go into the hospital. So we figured, there has to be someone doing this somewhere. So we started doing research and looking to see if that need was already being filled by other companies.
Right.
And there really wasn't anything out there like this before. So when we first started contacting hospitals, they had a really hard time kind of picturing what we would do and how we would interact with the kids, and they didn't really know how to respond.
Right.
So we had to do a lot of research on our end to make sure that, we fit that character integrity. We planned really not only structured visits, but visits that would benefit both the child life staff and the child, that we were coming in prepared to do an activity or to hold a conversation that might be a little bit uncomfortable because you are still a stranger.
Right.
So we really were doing a lot of cold calls, and eventually one hospital took a chance on us. And when they did, we asked if there was any way we could actually film the interaction. That way people could actually see what we were doing and it would kind of be more applicable to them.
Mm-hmm. And so did you guys, you're in school full time. So did you do this then on your next break or how did that work?
So we started, by the time the fall really got rolling, it was kind of the end of my sophomore year. So over that summer, we spent a lot of time, deciding what we wanted to do next. As soon as I went on the visit the first time, it really was love at first sight. It was something that I, to this day, still have not stopped talking about. It became my whole world, and it was just my favorite thing to do. So we decided to talk to our school about how we can move forward and make this something that was a bit more structured. And they talked to us about actually making it a club on campus so more people could get involved. So that summer we kind of really started deciding, well, what do people need to know if they're going to the hospital about, working with kids that could be medically vulnerable, or what should they know about their characters?
Yeah.
So we wrote this whole training program over a summer in between our sophomore and junior year. And then when we've been back our junior year, we really hit the ground running. So I didn't typically have the normal college experience starting a business in the middle of my junior year, but it was amazing. It was an amazing experience nevertheless.
Oh my gosh. And I would like you to share now, I remember getting an update several months ago about how many children you guys have touched, your foundation have touched. And can you share some of those statistics with us?
Yeah, absolutely. So we were really lucky during our senior year. Elite Daily had reached out to us about wanting to come on a visit with us and film us. And that video ended up getting millions of views. And I just remember thinking this is going to be the ride. Now I have to buckle up. This is getting serious.
Yeah.
And we had so many college students from all over the country reach out about adopting chapters. And that's always been my end goal. I love what we do so much that I want to share it with as many people as possible. So we ended up adopting chapters, and now we have about 500 volunteers across the country.
Wow.
And last we are able to service about 15,000 kids in 3 different countries.
Holy cow, because the last time I talked to you, you had 2 different countries and there were 5,000 children, and now 15,000 children in 3 countries. So United States being one, what are the other 2 countries?
So we have started a new initiative that really helps us focus on an extremely vulnerable position, which is when children are on isolation because they don't get that normal interaction with, their family members sometimes or their classmates. So what we started to do was offering video calls with that character just for them. So that's allowed us to reach Australia. That's allowed us to reach Mexico. And we're hoping to be in Canada by the end of the month.
Oh, my word. And how long do these video calls last or visit last? I guess a video call versus in person is probably 2 different amounts of time, I would imagine.
It is. Usually we do the video calls. We block out about a half-hour rate. But something that's really amazing that I really love about our foundation is we really pride ourselves on never really setting an end time.
Okay.
Once we're in a hospital, we're there as long as they need us. Sometimes the hospitals will even take us from, the oncology unit to the ER waiting room. Oh. And it's really amazing. So we get to see all different types of kids.
Oh my gosh. Can you share a story or 2 with us that come to mind? I mean, I'm sure absolutely every experience must be amazing, but can you share something that, 1 or 2 stories that stands out in your mind?
Yeah, definitely. I think what's really amazing about what we do, we call it a moment of magic because each one is just so unique. Each interaction is so different. So there's 2 very different stories that immediately come to mind. One is about a little girl. We were originally doing the pediatric hospitals and working with nonprofits, but we got an email from a mom from a little girl who is doing really well. She battled cancer, and it was her 6th birthday, and she loves princesses. And this is one of her first birthdays that she wouldn't be in the hospital. So they were really excited to celebrate and wanted to go all out. So we brought about 6 or 7 princesses to her house for her birthday party. And it was like love at first sight. It was immediate friendship. And to this day, it's now 2 to 3 years later, we still talk almost every day. And it's really incredible to kind of see this relationship because we've seen her through, she still gets her regular scans and has to go in for doctor's appointments. But we also get to see her losing her first tooth and her going on the school bus for her first day of first grade. And we get to see all of these really amazing milestones at a very intimate level with these families.
Oh my gosh, that must have been a shock. Now, was that a surprise with you guys showing up, or?
It was a surprise for her, so that was really, really incredible.
I can't imagine being 6 years old and having all these princesses show up at my door. She must have been in shock.
It was so funny because she would sit with us and just talk and tell us all of these different things that she knew about us and our movie. And her mom had grabbed me after the event, and she said, I want you to know that she doesn't usually talk like this. She's usually pretty shy. And it's pretty amazing that, she recognized you guys and believed in you so much that you were already her best friends before you even stepped in the door.
Oh, wow. That is
So
amazing.
yeah,
Oh my
it was
word.
really incredible.
Yeah.
And then one other example that we had is we went to a hospital and there was a little girl there and we were talking to her and, hugging and taking pictures and smiling. And we realized that she wasn't speaking English. She spoke Spanish. So we didn't speak too much Spanish, a little bit here and there, a little bit of conversational. But you could see as soon as we started speaking in Spanish, her eyes just kind of light up, kind of like, oh my gosh, you understand me kind of thing. And it was really, really incredible. And, we had this really great relationship with her. And, there was a way that you can almost communicate without words as well. And as we were leaving the room, the nurse grabbed myself and Maggie, who is our co-founder, and said, what's amazing about this visit is 2 weeks ago, we had to tell her parents we didn't know if she was going to make it. She had a really traumatic brain injury. So, 2 weeks ago, it would have been a totally different experience. And it was just so, to see that little girl in that room and have this really amazing connection with her and then hear about the reality of her battle and how far she's battled back and how strong she is now was very, it was breathtaking. It was really hard to put that into words.
Oh, I can't even imagine. And so were her parents there? Are the parents of the children there when you get to? Okay.
Yeah.
That absolutely outstanding. And I want to start crying because, we've all had, any of us that have children or nieces or nephews or whatever, a lot of us have experienced scary times when our children are sick or injured or something, and I just cannot imagine what you do. I mean, you said you had 500 volunteers and they're not all princesses or superheroes, are they?
Yeah, we have some that go in as themselves. They get to interact with the kids just as themselves. Okay. And I think that that's just so special that we have. It doesn't matter if you come in a costume or it doesn't matter if you come in as yourself. Having someone that, will sit down on the floor with you and have a tea party on, the linoleum tiling of the hospital is so special for these kids. And to kind of put into perspective, the world can be a very scary place, especially when you're 7 years old and battling cancer. Yeah. And having someone that talks to you like you're their friend, it makes all the difference in the world. My gosh.
So princesses, I'm sure you've got all of them. Now tell me about the superheroes. I didn't realize you had superheroes. What kind of superheroes do you have now?
Yes, we have a whole array of different characters, which has been really cool because when we first started, we started at a teeny tiny school in the Bronx of about 1,500 kids. And now we have some really big schools on our roster like the Ohio State, Western Michigan, West Virginia, University of Arizona, that have really big schools. So what's been really amazing is we really tapped into the male population, which we didn't have before. Okay. So now we have princes, we have characters, we have pirates, the superheroes. It's amazing because, boys like princesses too. They do like them. But it's even more special to really identify with a boy.
Oh my gosh, that is absolutely phenomenal. And I noticed that some of your the children that I've seen in some of the photos, they're wearing crowns. And I think you had or you still have a program to do with crowns, do you? Or can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so it was actually really funny how it started. We worked with the Miss United States organization. We worked with Miss New York, and she came into some visits with us, and we were thinking of some cool things that we can do. And of course, she wears this beautiful crown to symbolize that she's Miss New York. So that's kind of how it started, was that she was giving out crowns to the kids, and it just became like a very symbolic thing that we were doing. It was very powerful. So what we started doing was taking in the crowns to the hospital and giving out crowns. And then we also, for Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month, which September is, have been shipping purple capes with gold glitter writing on them to kids all over the world, which has been so amazing that, we're celebrating how big of a superhero you are too.
Oh my gosh, that is fantastic. So September is Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month. I just have to say that everything that you guys do, it just, every time I think that, wow, that's incredible, it just gets even bigger. Like it really seems to spread. How many chapters do you have involved? Because these are for who participates, first of all, and how many chapters do you have?
So all of our volunteer work that's actually done in the hospital is done exclusively by college students.
Okay.
And right now we have 16 different chapters across the country. So this is amazing because, these are kids that are between the ages of 18 and 22 regularly that are doing full-time classes and working and athletes and involved in other clubs that are committing so much time to the organization and to the kids.
Oh, my word. And if people want to get involved, first of all, how can they go about doing that? Everything from a princess or donations, or what kinds of things can we do to get involved in your organization?
Absolutely. And I think that's the best thing about the organization is we have so many different things, so many different parts going on at the same time that anyone with any inkling to help in any capacity could join our team right away. So whether you want to, dress up as a character or if you know a business that might be interested in providing free crowns or literally anything in between, you can go to our website, which is amomentofmagic.org. Okay. And we have so much information on there and you can contact us right through that website.
My goodness gracious, that, that it is wonderful that there is a role for everyone, and something as simple as garnering crowns. And even if somebody could donate like 10 different crowns, it's still something that will help, right?
Well, it's invaluable. If you could donate one crown, that's one amazing moment that you're creating for one child. And that impact really is there.
How do parents contact you? Is it all through the organization, or?
Yes. So there's a really easy way to, if you know a family or if you know a child that may benefit from one of our services, there's a really easy way to recommend a child on our website. And once you do that, we can contact the family and go from there.
Okay. And for everybody that's listening, A Moment of Magic has something very special coming up. I think it is your first gala that's coming up. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, so we are having our first ever gala. It's in White Plains, New York, which is a little bit outside of New York City, on September 29th from 6 to 10 p.m. Right. It's so exciting. We've never done a gala before, but it's a really amazing night where we're going to have our volunteers, people that have supported us from the very beginning. We're going to have some amazing families and special guests there. And, the more support that we can get and the more people we can bring out, the more that people can learn about our organization and the more we can do for the kids. So it's really all hands on deck effort.
Oh my gosh. And so how do people get tickets, and is there a ticket price you can tell us now or something like that?
Yes, absolutely. So if you go to our website, amomentofmagic.org, right on the main screen, if you scroll down a little bit, and have a whole little thing about the Night of Magic Gala, you can click right on there and purchase a ticket. The website for our ticket is through Give ID, and all the directions are right on the page. Tickets right now are $125. That includes a 4-hour open bar, 4-hour open buffet and desserts. We'll have some live entertainment, some amazing speakers. So you really are getting a lot of bang for your buck. And of course, all the proceeds go to benefit the organization. Right. We also are running a special because we really want to pack that room. So if you could get 8 people to the event and sell a table out, it's only $750, which brings it down to about $90 a ticket. Right. So the more people we can get there, the better.
And if you cannot make it, people out there, and you want to support it, they can still do that, right? They can still donate something to the gala in honor of your foundation, or?
Absolutely. So you can go right to the ticket page again and make a donation of any amount, anything from, $1 to, if you want to donate $1 million, if you have $1 million laying around, we'll take it. So anything that you donate helps so much.
Oh, I bet. My gosh. And now you are doing this, you're running the foundation full time, I believe, right?
Yes, I am.
And I cannot even thank you so much for everything that you do. I mean, there's so many ideas that people think about, but they don't do anything with them, right? And I'm trying to think. So you were were you about 19 or 20 when you came up with
I was
this
about
idea?
20.
20
Yeah, I
years
was
old.
around 20 years old.
Gosh. And of course your parents probably supported absolutely everything about it. And I'm so glad that they had the wherewithal to show you the movie Frozen, which is one of my favorites, And I want to go back now just a wee bit. How did you first learn about Disney or some first Disney experiences in your childhood?
Absolutely. I honestly can't remember a point in my life where I wasn't obsessed with the Disney princesses. I remember my whole life I was a competitive swimmer, so I always loved Ariel. She was always my favorite. Okay. And I remember, I was just saying the story the other day, but it was so funny. I remember I think I was like 13 years old, and I went to the park. And I remember they had the American Idol audition.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember I was so scared and like my little knees were knocking together and I sang a Taylor Swift song. And I remember the woman saying something along the lines of, well, you're a little young. It wasn't as strong as it could have been. But, you should come back and audition for a princess one day. And I just think it's so funny how life works so full circle.
You actually auditioned for the American Idol? Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I can see why your knees are knocking.
Yeah, when I was like a little kid in the parks, when they used to do the auditions, I think it was in Hollywood Studios or Epcot.
Yeah, Hollywood.
But it was just, it's just been so ingrained in me for as long as I can remember. I've just always loved the princesses. I remember right before I went to college, I literally dragged my sisters to meet every single princess.
Oh.
I was more excited than they were, and they were younger than I was.
Oh. No, I'm trying to recall, you watched a lot of Disney movies, I think, growing up too, right?
Yeah, I did. I watched Beauty and the Beast so many times on VHS that I broke my VHS player.
Oh, dear. And now, did you make your sisters watch those, or were they kind of on board about watching the movies?
They were definitely on board. My sisters are a little bit younger than I am. Right. They are right now 6 and 7 years younger than me. And they, that's always been something that's really bonded us as well. Is these movies are just so timeless and classic. It doesn't matter what age you are, but there's something that just hits you right in your heart that can connect you. I think that's really special. That
is so amazing. And how does one either belong to a chapter or is there a process, or do they call you or how does that work exactly?
Yes, absolutely. So our website is honestly the easiest way to go through anything. If you are a college student and you are at one of the schools where there is a chapter, you can find a way to contact them right on the website. And if you notice that your school isn't a chapter, we do accept new chapter applications all the time. So you can even apply to become a chapter leader.
Okay. And do you have on your website the places that the chapters are in place presently?
Yes, we do. We have both the schools that the chapters are at as well as all the organizations that the chapters service. Okay.
And I want to ask you, just thinking about a time, and it was recently when all the chapter, I guess, what are they, heads of the chapter or what do you call them?
Yes, we call them chapter presidents.
Oh, chapter presidents. Okay. You guys all got together for the first time, and I'm thinking it was probably like a year ago, was it? Or I mean, time goes by so fast, in New York City or something like that. Can you tell us about that and that experience? Because that must have been so powerful for you and Maggie to see what kind of the fruits of your labor, really.
Yeah. The first time we did it, we do it every year now. We do a training conference where we fly all of our chapter presidents in for a week of training, where we cover everything from, the hospital interactions to the character studies to what I think is really important, can often be overlooked, is kind of the emotional aftermath that you're left with when working with so many vulnerable children and making sure that you're taking care of yourself as a volunteer. Yeah. So we flew them all out to New York. And I think the first time that they were all sitting in a room together, it was just, I don't even know how to describe it, but it was almost like we were looking at each other saying, oh my gosh, you're real. You're a real person. You're more than just a face on a computer screen.
Yeah.
And it's just so amazing how, this has always been something that I love with my whole heart. A Moment of Magic really is, I really think it's my purpose for what I do in my life.
Yeah.
And having so many people wholeheartely believe in it, that they tell me that A Moment of Magic is now their home on campus and somewhere that they can go and feel safe and feel understood.
Nice.
That really means so much to me. It makes me very emotional because, if we can be as welcoming as possible, that's all I've never asked for.
I want to just ask you, what kind of training do you train a princess in your foundation? I'm just really curious. What are some of the things that you address to train a princess?
Yeah. Well, we think that character integrity is so important. We really want to uphold all of the standards, set by the movies and everything else. So we cover everything from character mannerisms, so the way that they hold their posture, to how they're holding their hands and they're posing, to makeup, to their character voice, and what to do if maybe you're not a great singer and how to kind of skirt around that. And it's really important to do character interaction as well, because a lot of times when you're interacting, especially with young kids, your conversation can be very one-sided. So it's important to be able to hold a conversation and not make it awkward.
Right. What is, how long does a training take for someone, say if, my daughter just decided to walk into one of your campus outreach places, how long is it from application to actually becoming a princess? Or is there also sort of some time that I would imagine that they're shadowing you, or I'm just guessing, but.
Yeah. So once we have a new character applicant come in, we call them CIPs, for characters in training.
Okay.
So they go through a semester of training where they'll kind of learn the very basics, and they'll do 40 hours of shadow work where they'll shadow other characters.
Wow.
But what is really interesting about our foundation is we never believe that the training is over. I think the amount of knowledge out there to serve these kids is so vast and ever expanding that every semester that you're in school and involved with the club, once a week they meet and discuss a new topic, whether that's learning a little bit of ASL so they can communicate with kids that might not be verbal, or it's working and kind of understanding compassion fatigue, or understanding the different types of illnesses to better serve them. So, the training is never done, which is really amazing.
Right. Oh, my word. And of course, those beautiful costumes, they look like they're off a Hollywood set. How did you come up with those? Because they're absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you so much. We work really hard to try to, maintain that magic so well. So, a lot of it is just through so much fundraising. All of our amazing volunteers really work hard to pound the pavement to bring in the money for us to purchase the costumes. And then we work with very carefully selected partners that actually create these things and make them come to life. Whether it be the wigs, the dresses, to the little details in the jewelry. We're really excited that we want it to look as magical as possible.
Wow. And I noticed, and I did hear, when I first met you, about the different walks that you do, because I'm thinking that might be another way of, for people to, just in addition to, having their pocketbooks open a little bit here, that they can actually physically do something as well, right? Do you still do those walks, or tell us about that?
Yes, we do. So we do everything from partnering with other nonprofits for their fundraisers, or, any kind of community event. We really like to be there because that's our way of saying thank you for allowing us to do what we do. So, if a local hospital is having a walk and we have a chapter in the area, we most likely will be there, which is great. But then we also started doing some of our own. So we have a 5K coming up in October that's actually princess and superhero themed, and it's so fun because people will run the whole race dressed as different characters. It's amazing.
Where is that going to take place, Kylee?
That will be in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, which is actually my hometown. It'll be our second annual, and it's so much fun.
Oh, that's great. I wish you were a little bit closer for me, anyways, because I think 5Ks are just a hoot and a half. Kylee, where do you see? I mean, I'm sure at the beginning you never even saw how this was going to grow. I mean, you have a vision, but to see where you are in such a short period of time, or did you think that was all going to happen like that?
It's kind of funny because I think that I knew it had that potential. And I think I knew in the back of my head, if I worked hard enough, maybe we could get there. I really believe that, if you put the hard work in and you put the hours in, anything is possible. But there are a lot of moments where I just have like these little pinch me moments. Right. Last year we threw out the first pitch of a Yankees game, and that was a moment that was a pinch me moment.
Wow. Oh, that's a riot. Oh my gosh. What's next for A Moment of Magic?
I think the ultimate goal is just continue giving our volunteers service work that they feel passionate about, that they can see that direct impact. Mm-hmm. We want every college student that's going through something that wants to volunteer, we want to give them a place where they feel like they're home. And if that's what our current volunteers are saying, then we want to make more people feel that way and feel accepted and feel like they belong somewhere and what they're doing matters, because it really does matter. Yeah. And then we want to make sure that every child that's going through something knows that they have a friend that they can count on, and we'd like to be that friend. We want to be that family's companion. We want to go through this process with them. We want to be there when they need anything. Right. And I think that that's really important, is to just continue to show up and be there for people.
For sure. And, it's such a win-win situation, isn't it? I mean, you're serving them, but I'm sure you're, getting just as much, if not more, back from these little ones and the families that you interact with and get to know.
Absolutely. And, I think when you're a college student, that's a really pertinent part of your life, when you're figuring out who you are and what you want to be. And I think these are lessons that you learn in these hospital rooms that you can't necessarily learn in the classroom. Right. So I think what we're doing is very valuable and important. And we're very lucky that we have the people that we have to believe in the organization as well.
Kylee, it is absolutely so fantastic and warms my heart to the core. I so believe in young people and of course the spirit of Disney, and you are sharing that spirit and magic to those that may not have any interaction with a princess or superhero in their lives, and to provide that dream for these children and to give them that spiritual and emotional boost, really, it does wonders, I'm sure, for them.
Absolutely. And, to have that interaction I think we saw a statistic, we were looking into research the other day, and there's a statistic that came out that when a child is long-term hospitalized over the course of a week, they meet about 50 or so strangers. And they have 50 or so strangers come into their room to poker prod them or do tests. And having someone that they watch on TV every day come into their hospital room to make them feel special, it's an invaluable experience. So it's a great experience for everyone, from the family to the child to the volunteer. It's a really amazing thing that we get.
Oh my gosh. That, Kylee, I remember when I had first met you, and, you were just starting. You were, it was just you and Maggie, and telling me about some of the things that you encountered, and you just kept working through and learning how to interact with these children in the hospital, because you can't just kind of come off the street and work with these children or speak with them. There's certain things, you need to prepare for if there's an emergency, and you never gave up. You always kept moving forward and just figured it out as you went along the right way. And I feel very privileged that we're having this conversation right now, because I do truly want to support you guys in any way that I can. And I thought I would let you know, as some of our listeners, is that from here on in, 10% of all profits of my books will be going to your foundation.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
So that is
Thank you so much.
My commitment to you guys, and spreading the word is so important. And I just want to thank you again so much for coming on to the show. And I will be continually sharing, because I just really, really believe in what you have done for thousands of people, and not only the children, but even the college kids, finding their way, finding their purpose, and creating something so magical that it's just unbelievable. Just an outstanding job, Kylee. Outstanding.
Thanks. Thank you so much. And thank you for believing in us since we were little college students sitting in our dorm room, just dreaming up these impossible things. So thank you so much. That really means so much to us. Thank you.
You're very welcome. And Walt always said it's kind of fun to do the impossible, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Oh, gosh, Kylee, I wish you all the best in the gala. We will be in touch because I need to find out how to get funds to you. And I just am so grateful, and I will meet you in person one day. That is my promise to you as well.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you. Take care and all the best. And just, I hope that gala is just smashing. So you take care. So all right. Thanks. Okay. Bye for now. Well, you know, I'm so grateful for people that believe in their dreams and follow them, especially these young people that we have that we need to support out there. Because this one girl, look at 15,000 children she has touched. That's mind-boggling, truly. And the 500 volunteers that they now have, that and she said something that was really important too, because as she and her team of superheroes and princes and princesses are helping these children and interacting, you know, it takes a certain kind of person, certain kind of heart to do that. And you do need support, not only monetarily, but I'm talking about spiritual support and emotional support, mental support, because it's a tough job. It is not all rainbows and roses, because you have to go in to see these children that are in some of the most dire circumstances, and to bring a smile and a moment of this magic that they can forget about their hurts and pains and scary situation. It goes beyond what I can imagine. So amomentofmagic.org, please, you guys, check it out, because they deserve all of our support. I just want to take a moment to welcome my husband's on watching, and Cindy and Beatrice and Shanna and Mike. Thank you. I can see that you are on, and all of you guys that had a chance to join me this evening. And if you are watching after this recording, please check out these guys. They're so wonderful. I did mention at the beginning that I had a really special announcement to make. And I hope you can see it. It's kind of getting dark out here. I'm inside, but the outside window is open. I have the announcement to make about my 5th Disney book that will be out in time for summer 2019. And it is actually going to be Positively Disney, more heartwarming stories about Disney's impact on people's lives. The Star Wars edition. That's right. I'm going to write about the Star Wars, how that has impacted your lives. If you or you know anybody out there that wants to have a shot at being in the book, or wants to share an impactful story that Star Wars has had in your life, you know where to find me. You can message me. You can email me at Kimberly@positivelydisney.com. I would love to hear from you guys. And if Star Wars has been a big impact in your life, I would love to hear about it. So I'm going to kind of wrap up for this evening, our show. And I'm just so touched by so many things that have happened. And at the beginning of the show, I'm not too sure, or in the middle, if you kind of heard a little bit of a complaining little pup. But I do have, besides our little Flynn, who's now kind of becoming ginormous. I won't show him today. He's sleeping. He's growing, our golden retriever Flynn. But we also have this little guy. And this is Morty. And he's named after Mickey Mouse's nephew, Morty, and I absolutely love him. And his best friend is Flynn. And this is our 2-year-old little Dachshund. So that is who was maybe chewing or complaining in the background for tonight's show. But at any rate, I just noticed also, I wanted to say hello to a new friend of mine, Stephen Meister, who just joined the show tonight. Stephen was actually flying. We caught the same flight from Seattle to Santa Barbara. He was my seatmate. And you guys, you never know who's going to be sitting beside you or what you can share with them or chat about. And, that is really what it's about, is going out in the world and making a difference. And Kylee McCrane is certainly one of them that has gone out into this beautiful world to make a difference with these children. And I challenge you guys to as well go out and make a difference, whether it's a smile to somebody that really needs a smile or just a conversation. Take that risk and say hello to someone. For now, that's all. This show is recorded. It will be up in a moment for you to listen if you have missed any of it. And I want to wish you a lovely week. Be safe. Take care. Bye for now.